According to Dr. Mark Asibeye, MP for New Job South, a member of the Finance Committee in Parliament, now he said that the Bank of Ghana will have to strengthen its supervisory role in order to ensure the implementation of the bill. Now, do you think the central bank in its current dispensation is up to the task of effectively operationalizing the law?
Yes, a lot of work is going on. As I speak to you, after the DKM issues, I know Bank of Ghana is now setting up offset units. Offset is the unit, the department at Bank of Ghana that supervises microfinance institutions. And I know they have set up offset units in the regions to bring supervision closer to its members. Again, I know that the staff at the offset unit has been beefed up. And so a lot is going on there. Again, the collaboration
but
between
Bank of Ghana... But do they have the staff strength to do that?
Yes, they have beefed up. They have beefed up the staff. And so once the staff is increased...
No, but I'm asking this because you realize 10 regions in Ghana. Okay, you have 10 offices, yes. Many districts under the regions. Now, how can we ensure that Bank of Ghana would operationalize or would be everywhere in the district?
See, apart from setting up these offset units in the regions, which they will, of course, do the supervision, the collaboration between Bank of Ghana and associations has also been enhanced. And so the association will also partner with Bank of Ghana in this monitoring and supervision work. Again, there's monitoring that we do through submission of reports. And so this submission of reports, Bank of Ghana, there's something we call off-site monitoring, where reports are submitted to Bank of Ghana, and Bank of Ghana do analysis and moving to know the situation on the ground. And all these activities are being enhanced because I'm speaking to it because we've done a lot of meetings at Bank of Ghana.
So that would mean moving from the office to the various districts to actually oversee
exactly,
what's happening.
Regions,
so that would mean you need more cars, you need more. You need things. Do we have the capacity? Do you think the Bank of Ghana have the capacity?
For me, I think that Bank of Ghana, as I said, a lot of effort is being done, and the association is also in there to collaborate with them to ensure that we sanitize the industry. Previously, it wasn't like that. We are improving on the supervisory activity. And so we believe that this will go a long way to help in this kind of activity. But as to Bank of Ghana being adequate to do this regulatory work, I think that the coming months, all of us as a country will know, because I know a lot of work is being done from various angles to ensure that some of these things that we hear from the microfinance industry is minimized, and then the industry also is sanitized.
If you look at the antecedent of microfinance, poverty alleviation should be a core principle in the operations of microfinance institutions. But however, one of the main challenges within the microfinance sector is the fact that most of the activities or owners are more inclined in making profit instead of considering both profit and social returns. Let me ask you, do you think that microfinance sector has convincingly played its role in terms of poverty alleviation?
I would say that to a large extent, microfinance is working to alleviate poverty, but a lot needs to be done because...
Don't we say this? We need to do this. A lot needs to be done. What have you done from where you sit?
No, if you allow me, you will
go on.
You'll get to it. You see, microfinance institutions, basically they do two activities: deposit taking and also lend to people or their customers. Now, the deal with money, they go out there and borrow money, and they also, let's say, sell the money. Now, how much you borrow will also determine how much you can sell the money. And so there are issues in here as a nation that we need to look at. Microfinance, and as you rightly said, is one of the institutions that also go into the money and capital market to borrow. And depending on your risk profile, investors will lend to you at a certain interest rate. And so, how do we perceive microfinance in terms of risk in this country? And so the investor out there will say, because you are microfinance, because there are issues around microfinance, I will lend to you at 40%. And obviously, if somebody is lending to you at 40%,
isn't that a high percentage?
Exactly. And so right away, then you know that because they also have to cover their operational costs and also get some margin, it will be obviously more than 40%. I'm trying to say that as a nation, if we want microfinance to do this poverty alleviation thing, then we have to look at how do we put together some funding for microfinance institutions to access it and also to be able to give it to our people at a good rate. Because if you allow me to go to the money markets to borrow at a higher interest rate.
Sir, how much do banks, how much interest do they get on the operations? I'm asking you, do you know? Do you have
a figure? Do they?
Banks, yes.
I can tell you that averagely, microfinance institution goes to the bank and borrow at 35%, and even higher than that, up to 40%.
No, but if this is a mandate alleviating poverty, and I come to you, I get 5,000 Ghana cedis. At the end of 3, 5, 6 a year, I'm paying how much? 25,000. I mean, really? Isn't that too much? Aren't you killing my business?
Microfinance institutions are not only there to alleviate poverty, they are also set up institutions to also make profits.
We know that. I said that.
And so, if we want to look at the financial inclusion aspect, what we call double bottom line objective, and these days we are talking about triple, where we are adding the environment. And I know that the association has even gone into partnership with SMV to give loans at a very low rate so that we channel it into sanitation and water.
So I'm thinking, so you're saying that if you go to borrow from the bank at a cheaper interest rate, you'll be able to give to your clients at a marginalized rate.
Exactly.
We'll be right back.
The Hard Truth with Akosia Konedu, only on Vice at 1.
Brought to you by EcoBank. At EcoBank, we see a great future, one that's full of opportunity for those who want to be the best. With over 1,000 branches of a single bank across 33 African countries. It's a future where trade can flourish without boundaries. The future is breathtaking, with enormous cross-border investments helping business and government build new infrastructure, while individuals achieve their ambitions right across Africa. The future is Pan-African, and EcoBank is the Pan-African bank.
Welcome back. It's still The Hard Truth, proudly brought to you by Octoglo Ghana Limited and supported by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Joseph Donkor is still here. Now, the Deputy Finance Minister recently inaugurated a technical committee to oversee the development of a financial inclusion strategy for Ghana. Let me ask, what role can microfinance companies play to ensure greater financial inclusion for the disadvantaged and low-income earners in Ghana?
Thank you very much. I think that during that workshop, I was there, and microfinance associations were well represented there. And so, and as we rightly said, microfinance deal with the low income earners. So we are there, but it still comes back to these issues that we are talking about. Funding for microfinance institutions is important. The economy, the interest rates, these are things that are critical for microfinance institutions to be able to do this social aspect of their work well. And so we, as I said, all stakeholders will have to look at this. We have experiences from other countries, and I can share with you, even neighboring Nigeria. They have also gone through some of these challenges that Ghana is going through with respect to the microfinance. They did feasibility studies, and they came out with 5 key pillars. One was regulation, one was supervision, one was, again, credit bureau. That's where data will be submitted to an institution and ensure that people who are borrowed, the institutions go to these credit bureau institutions and get information about it so that we avoid multiple borrowing. They also set up 2 funds. One fund is for microfinance institutions to asset on lending funds. And then the other was for people who are able to measure up to consumer protection practices. People who are able to operate with best practices have the opportunity to access these funds. And so right away, you are encouraging people to do the right thing so that they get some benefits out of it. And they also have fund which microfinance institutions can go in there and asset at a very good rate so that they can also lend to our brothers and sisters who are low income earners. And I think that these are critical things that we need to do as an industry people. If we leave it as it is and ask a microfinance institution who have bring in a capital of 2 million set up to do business for profit, even though go out there, borrow at a high interest rate, and then you want it to give it at a lower interest rate, it doesn't work.
So the government should help. The government should help.
Yes, and the ministry, everybody is expected. The development partners, all the necessary things that I mentioned. I mentioned 5 key things: credit reporting, regulation that will ensure that people do the right thing. The institutions are expected to do right things, consumer protection, ethical practices, and they are motivated by getting access to funding on competitive rates or a good rate so that they can also do their work. These are key things, ensuring that people subscribe to credit reporting so that before they give loans, they are sure that the person who is coming in for the loan doesn't have any bad record or even having borrowed from microfinance A and B. And then it comes to the third microfinance and borrow.
I mean, if they borrow and pay, I mean, is that
no,
a
but
problem?
obviously, if people have overborrowed, then it should tell you that they will not be able to pay. So we need to avoid that. We need to make sure that if somebody has borrowed from microfinance A, the information is on the credit bureau.
So all sectors play your part. Play your part well. Now, you realize again, sir, that there seems to be too much over-reliance on microfinance, neglecting other equally important products like microfinance insurance, microfinance housing. Some experts are of the view that it is important to diversify the current product base of microfinance institutions in order to enable them to provide solutions to lift poverty from where it is. Now, would you say that diversification of microfinance product is moving at a slower pace or at a faster pace? What would you say to it?
Microfinance itself, let me say, is a bit, even though there were some institutions, the regulation is about 5 years. It came in 2011. And if you give birth to a baby, then the baby is 5 years, you can see that the baby is not older. And so a lot is happening under the industry. For micro insurance, it's important. And I can tell you that from our association, we have even partnered with some other institutions to do micro insurance. And so it's going on. But I must say that, as I said, probably we need to do more. But as I speak to you, there are institutions, our members, who are doing micro insurance. And even for last year, June 3rd, a challenge that befell the country, one of our partners that we work with had to pay 40,000 to our member institutions for insurance. And I can tell you, many of them are signed up into these policies and it's going on. But I think that we need to do more. And you know, insurance in the country in general is an area that we need to improve on it, because many of our people probably do not get the insurance policy thing very well. We need to do more education on it. We need to let them know how important and relevant these insurance policies are, so that people will. And so I guess I agree with you that we need to improve on insurance. But I also have to let you know that in micro insurance is going on as a situation. We are partnering with other institutions.
Let me ask quickly, what of mobile banking? Are you interested in going into that?
Yes, very well. I think recently there was a debate which I attended. I was part of. I participated in between the banks and telcos, and I was in there as a participant, and I observed a lot. We cannot do away with mobile banking, and so we even as an association, we looked at our permissible activities. And mobile banking is not one of the things that we are allowed to do. We are doing a lot of advocacy at BOG to let them know that no, we cannot. These days, mobile banking is very, very important ways of even do financial inclusion. So if you exclude microfinance, let's say companies, I'm speaking for the association, or even institutions, you are not helping in that area to enhance financial inclusion. And so a lot of advocacy, and it has been very positive. And so our members are involved there to do mobile banking. And a lot of debate are going on. Even the bigger banks have their own perceptions about it. Some of them see them as threats. Some of them also see them as competitors. Some of them see them as complements. And we have to look at it as an issue. How can we collaborate to ensure that our people are able to access financial services? Important. Our people need services. And so microfinance, commercial banks, telcos, how can we ensure that we all collaborate well to ensure that we provide the needed financial services to the people? It's very important. So mobile banking is a good thing. We as association think that we can collaborate well with the telcos to also do mobile banking. And as I said, we are across the country from the north to the south. You're
everywhere.
Everywhere.
You're everywhere.
And so if we collaborate well, it is really going to help to enhance financial inclusion.
We'll be right back.
With a Kosia Konedu, only on Vice at 1.
Brought to you by EcoBank. EcoBank, we see a great future, one that's full of opportunity for those who want to be the best. With over 1,000 branches of a single bank across 33 African countries, it's a future where trade can flourish without boundaries. The future is breathtaking, with enormous cross-border investments helping business and government build new infrastructure, while individuals achieve their ambitions right across Africa. The future is Pan-African, and EcoBank is the Pan-African bank.
You're watching The Hard Truth, proudly brought to you by Octoglo Ghana Limited, supported by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Joseph Donkor is still here now. Joseph, high operations and funding costs is one of the main issues leading to high cost of loans by microfinance companies. This has led to many bad loans because of the interest that are so high and that some customers default in payment. How serious of a problem has this been for the survival of microfinance institutions? And what do you think is the way out from this?
Some of the things that we have mentioned earlier on are still important here. We need to ensure that we have credit reporting. As the credit bureaus is a key thing. And then we encourage all our members or the microfinance institutions to sign up into it or subscribe to it. And what I know is that currently we have 3 licensed one in the country. But you know what we have been advocating is that maybe there has to be one for microfinance institutions, because, for example, they are small institutions and you cannot compare them with the bigger commercial banks and ask them to pay the same subscription or even meet the same requirement when it comes to credit reporting. And so there has to be a way of, for example, designing one, whether with the old institution or with the new one, and probably for microfinance. Apart from that, I think we've also talked about funding. It's also important, partnerships here, to ensure that microfinance institutions have a good source of borrowing. Also for the general, it's very important because, as I said, if you borrow at high interest, obviously it's going to be given at a high interest. And once it's a high interest, that alone also increase the risk for people to pay. So it's also important. Again, the institutions will also have to find ways of at least being efficient. You have to look at your operational cost. You have to look at your premises. If you are setting up your premise, you are microfinance institutions. Do you set up a premise that is so big that will increase your operational cost? You have to check that up. Again, as an association, one of the key things that we do is capacity building. And we are in there to provide capacity building to our members in various courses. And that is to help them and to enhance their operations. So we'll continue to do that. The regulators also there to also help because we also the members are expected to submit returns. And from time to time, there are trainings here and there. And these are all efforts to ensure that microfinance institution operates efficiently and effectively.
We are in an election year, and I'm sure there's something you want from whoever will come as the president to help the microfinance. What would that be?
I think I mentioned 5 key things. And I think that there are pillars in the industry that is important. We have to look at the regulation, it's important, which includes supervision, what is so important. We need to support the institutions. I know there are private businesses, but hey, who said that private businesses cannot be promoted and supported? Across the globe, every country support its businesses to ensure that they are able to operate well. And so there are private businesses, but we still need the support from the ministry and development partners to set up a fund where they can source funds and also give it to our people at a reasonable interest rate. We talked about deposit insurance.
Currently, do you think the current government is doing everything possible to make microfinance companies comfortable? What would you say?
Well, I think that some measures are being put in place because we have been working with Ministry of Finance.
Measures implementation is just a roadmap, but are they implemented to say that yes, we've gotten there as a microfinance institution?
I think the industry have challenges, and I think we have talked about it here. These challenges we are trying to resolve, and we need to put our efforts together. And what I'm saying is that Ministry of Finance is involved in doing that. We have been advocating here and there. We have to get policy for microfinance. It's so key. What do we want as a nation from microfinance? It's so important we have a policy that at least every Tom, Dick, and Harry knows that yes, Ghana microfinance, these are what we want. This is where we are. This is where we want to end. And so these are important, and we need policy, clear policies from the ministry. Bank of Ghana, we've been collaborating, and we want them to also beef up the regulatory work, improve on it. We as association, we are ready to collaborate and also do a lot of, from the association, a lot is being done. As I speak to you, we are revising even our constitution 5 years ago and look at the times and see how relevant it is. And so even our constitution is being revised to ensure that if you want to be a member of GAMC, that's Ghana Association of Microfinance Companies, these are things as association we are looking out for, because we don't want people to be out there and give the association bad name. So a lot is being done. And so we want the support from the ministry, that's the government, support from the DP's development partners, support from partners and even other banks to partner and ensure that our people benefit from microfinance, because it's a very good industry that can help not only to enhance financial inclusion.
Yes.
But
so from
also
where you
to,
say, what advice would you give to your other microfinance companies? What would you tell them? Finally,
my advice to them is that as institutions, we need to operate according to the rules. It's important that we do our bit of the work. We have challenges. The economy, there's a challenge. How to access funds for on lending, there's a challenge. But as institutions, we need to operate ethically. We need to operate with best practices. We need to work and ensure that we meet the regulatory requirements. They need also to let us come together as members of association and also ensure that we protect the very things that we have invested in it.
you should mention you should make your clients happy. That's
Exactly.
one of the important hallmarks, yes?
Exactly. I talked about consumer protection.
Right.
The consumer basically is to ensure that when you deal with
Customers
customers are happy.
Joseph, thank you so much for
Thank you very
coming
much,
on the
Appreciate
Hard
for the
Truth. We are
opportunity to share
grateful.
on microphone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Joseph Donkor, Executive Secretary of Ghana Association of Microfinance Companies, has been our guest, and you've been watching The Hard Truth. And we have a new baby, Autoglow Ghana Limited. Thank you for coming on board. And our loyal sponsor, EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, thank you. And thank you so much to everyone for watching this evening's episode. And let's keep talking on Facebook. What's your take on microfinance companies in Ghana? Send me a hit on my personal page on Facebook. That's Akosia Konedu on Facebook, and The Hard Truth GH on Facebook. My name is Nana Akosia Konedu Asante Samuels. Have a good evening. Bye.
The Hard Truth with Akosia Konedu, only on Vice at 1.
Brought to you by EcoBank.